Hi, and welcome back to No Cabin Fever today. With us today, we have Christian Reichert from Resolution, and he will tell you how to be happy and save licenses at the same time. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Christian.
Okay, thanks very much. And let me share my screen then to get started. So I picked an incredibly boring topic for today. So I hope I'm not going to lose you along the way. So how do I hide this? This doesn't matter. Right. So what is one of the problems we see very often is you have inactive accounts, you have people who left the company and they're still active in your Jira, Confluence, Bamboo, Bitbucket, whatever it is. So your user directory starts looking something like this. Yeah, you have your active users, all fine, but you still have your leavers, and the thing is, they consume a license. So as long as Jira sees them, for example, as active users, you're still paying for them effectively. But also more than that, think about it like keys. Yeah, if an employee joins, he's going to get a company key card or some keys for the company, and so he can open doors. Some have more rights, some have less rights, or some just get the entry door, others get into the server room, into restricted areas. If an employee leaves, yeah, or even if he changes roles, what do? You take some of those keys away. And if the employee leaves, you take the whole keys away. Why? Because you want to be secure. You don't want to have ex-employees being able to go into the building and just wander around. But honestly, if we leave people active in our applications, passwords, username password combinations are nothing other than keys. We still give them access to data. They can still read things, do damage, whatever you like. So would you ever do that with physical keys? No, you wouldn't. So why are we actually doing it with virtual keys? So, but hey, what are the solutions? One, the gold star solution, which I'm not going to talk about much today, is implement some centralized identity management with user synchronization. So if you have Active Directory and you can enable LDAP, then do that whenever someone gets deactivated in your central directory, he gets deactivated in your Atlassian applications. Yeah, Atlassian Crowd might be a much smaller version of that, specialized for customers. Or if you use some other kind of identity management from some or centralized identity provider like Azure AD. So have a look at our single sign-on plugin or our user sync plugin, which implements APIs to a lot of those centralized solutions. That's a gold star solution. There are some frameworks who require something like that, but it's the way the industry is going to have a lot more centralized identity management, ideally combined with two-factor authentication. Yeah. If there's a reason why you can't be in that bucket yet, then at least consider some kind of automated deactivation. Yeah, even if you have a manual process today that says you get an email from HR when someone leaves and you go and tick all those boxes. I've been there a couple of years ago, and guess what? I've forgotten to deactivate people or change roles. So have at least some backup in terms of which will deactivate people who have been inactive for a while automatically. So one of the ways of doing that is you can query the database. That's a database query for Jira. Gives you everyone who hasn't logged in the last year. You get a list of users. You can go and deactivate them. That's free. So if that's the way you want to go, perfectly. This kind of query, you might have to translate, but you'll find samples of that for all the databases. You can use them. It's going to give you a list. You can even create an update statement which marks those users as inactive in the database. Not quite the recommended Atlassian way, but hey, you can do it and it doesn't cost you anything. The next thing is If you have some scripting tools installed and you like scripting, for example, ScriptRunner, this is the start of a ScriptRunner script deactivating inactive users. It's in their library. Go have a look, download it, and then use it. Maybe a quick side note on that as well. If you use your Jira, for example, as a directory for other applications as well, then be a bit careful with deactivating users. Then it's better to remove them from the application access groups, because if you deactivate someone in Jira, but he might still be active in Confluence, and you deactivated the account, Jira is the directory for Confluence, that user will be unhappy. So then removing them from access groups is a better way. But you can do that in a similar way to what I've shown here. Or I wouldn't be here if we wouldn't have a plugin for this. So look at one of our plugins, which is called User Deactivator, which gives you a nice GUI front end, etc., to do all of this. It's available for Confluence, Bitbucket, Bamboo, will come soon. And it's the same UI, same interface, same capabilities on all those platforms. So User Deactivator helps you with more advanced deactivation and removal from groups for inactive users. You have the choice. You have a manual mode where you get a nice, call it sexy, user browser where you can apply lots of filters to identify the groups of users that you want to select, and then with a click of a button, deactivate them or remove them from groups. But it also has, if you say, I don't want to worry about this, it has scheduled automatic mode, which runs once a night. So you define a lot of the criteria that users should match as well. And then you even have the ability, for example, to send them notifications some days before they get deactivated, that they know what's going to happen and also how to avoid it. And it gives you a nice summary report as an admin as well, what the software did. So that's the scheduled mode that you can have. Down there's the URL where you find the User Deactivator, or just search for User Deactivator in the marketplace. All in all, I think my key message here is don't ignore this topic. It gets ignored too often. It's a boring topic, but it is something that really causes security issues tangibly, and has led to people losing data, people incurring damage. And be it in a database, be it in a script, or with our plugin, if you have a way to manage your inactive users efficiently, you'll be much more secure because of it. And even better, you save some licenses, and hopefully that makes you happy and not spending any unnecessary money with Atlassian. So 8 minutes of a boring topic. I hope it was still worth your time. Key message again, don't ignore it, take care of it. It's not that hard. Doesn't look like there's any Q&A.
So thanks for the talk, Christian. It wasn't that boring, to be honest. Also, I like to piggy bank a lot. It's probably my favorite icon so far. To the audience, if there's any questions, there's a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. Just pop your questions right in there. If not, I'll give you another few seconds while I announce the talk for tomorrow. So I'd love to see you back tomorrow, same time, same place. And we will have Nikki with us, and Nikki will tell you a little bit about how to improve your release process using release templates. So yeah, I'd love to see you back tomorrow. Tune in, same time, same place. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice one. Cheers.